I'm a licensed therapist, and I'm going to tell you how you can stop worrying so much. When you worry so much, you get caught in what I call a negative thought cycle. It's the worry that leads to worry, that leads to worry, and it goes around and around and around like a hamster in a hamster wheel. And you can't get out of it. You're caught, you're trapped, and you're always thinking about the future. You're worried about the future. You're worried about something that's going to happen. And here's what most people tend to do. They start to believe in something that they don't know to be true. They assume they're jumping to conclusions and predicting the future and mind reading and all these things. And they're focused on something that hasn't happened yet. That's catastrophizing. Can you relate to that? You catastrophize to something that is maybe will happen in the future, but you don't know it to be true. And so you worry about something that you have no control over. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick out, what is it that you're worried about? Are you worried about the future? Are you worried about money and finances? Are you worried about family or relationship? Write down everything that you're worried about. Just go ahead and write them down. Make a list if there's multiple ones. Then ask yourself this: is what I'm worried about this particular thing, is it something that I know to be true, or is it something that I'm jumping to conclusions? Am I making an assumption about this? Am I predicting in something that I don't know is going to happen? If you could say, yes, that's me, I'm thinking about this, I'm catastrophizing, we call that a thinking trap or a cognitive distortion. What I want you to do is write down everything that you're worried about. Go ahead and write it all down. Then ask yourself, what do you know to be true? What are the evidence? What's the facts? My guess is probably not too many of them. It's your assumption. When you can identify that you're making some assumptions, you're jumping to conclusions, you're catastrophizing, then identify what that thinking trap is. And then I want you to be able to reframe your thinking. You reframe your thinking by focusing on what you do know to be true. It might be as simple as saying to yourself, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm going to choose to focus on today. So it's what you choose to focus on. Make it what I call a cognitive pivot, where you are choosing to not believe in something that you don't know to be true, and you're believing in something that you do know to be true. When we're in a court of law, we're not tried on circumstantial evidence, we're tried on facts, the evidence. And yet, when you are worrying about something in the future, you're focusing on circumstantial evidence. You don't have anything to prove what you're thinking about. Write all the thoughts down, all the worries down. Ask yourself, is this something that is going to come true, or is it something that you think is going to come true? You're worried about your job. Let's say maybe people are getting let go. There's a layoff at your work, and you're thinking, well, I'm probably going to be next. That could be, but you don't know that to be true. That's jumping to conclusions. You're predicting the future, and you're allowing the future to influence how you feel now. So your feelings are valid. How you feel is valid, but they might be influenced by something that's not true. To be able to identify that it's a thinking trap and then be able to replace it, reframe that thought in something that's more helpful. So instead of worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, focus on what you can do today. What can you do today? That's the fact, the here and now. Focus on today instead of the worry that hasn't happened yet. I want you to work on this. Write everything down that you're worried about. Ask yourself, is it a thinking trap? And if it's a thinking trap, then be able to focus on what you do know to be true. Keep doing that. And it's going to take persistence and practice and patience with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. This is how you're going to get out of that hamster wheel that goes around, that negative thought cycle that keeps going around and around. And you have to stay at it and practice and give yourself some grace. And you're going to get through it. If this video has been helpful, please subscribe to my channel for more mental health tips.